In this video, we will continue with sex-linked genes and also polygenes. So for sex-linked genes, by definition, these are the genes that are located on sex or X chromosome. And for us human, remember that we have altogether 23 pairs of chromosome. Okay, so the first 22 pairs, those are autosomal chromosome or autosomes. So they contain genes that code for everything else in our body. Meanwhile, the last pair, that is sex chromosome, which determine the gender of an individual. So if someone, okay, for sex chromosome, they have both X copies. Okay, two X copies, that means the individual is female. Meanwhile, if the individual has one copy of X chromosome and the other one is Y chromosome, okay, the shorter one here is Y chromosome, so the individual will be a male. As you can see here, when you compare the length of Y chromosome and X chromosome, Y is much shorter. So when it's shorter, that means Y chromosome only contain a number or a very few number of genes, okay, compared to X chromosome. So for that reason, okay, so it's usually the X chromosome that carry the sex-linked genes because they carry more genes compared to the Y chromosome. And here is the clearer comparison between the female and also male sex chromosome. Okay, so you have two copies of the X chromosome on the female. So this means each female, they will have two sex-linked genes. Okay, meanwhile for male, they only have one X chromosome. So they only have one sex-linked genes. Remember, Y chromosome is much shorter, so they contain or carry very few genes. So for that reason, males compared to female, they are more likely to suffer from the effect of X-linked genetic diseases. For your information, sex-linked genetic diseases, they are caused by a recessive allele. So for female, to develop the genetic disease, they must have both copies, or in other words, receive both copies of allele from both parents, only then the disease will develop in female. But for males, remember, they only have one copy of X chromosome, and they receive this X chromosome from their mother. So let's say this X chromosome from their mother contain the recessive gene. So that means this male individual, he will develop the genetic disease since there's no another copy of this gene on Y chromosome. Okay, remember only X chromosome contain these linked genes. Okay, not Y chromosome. So if he receive the recessive version of that gene, so that means this person, they will develop the genetic disease. So examples for the effect of sex-linked genes, genetic diseases. So we have hemophilia and also color blindness. So for hemophilia, so this means the person will have problem in blood clotting. So if they are bleeding, so the blood will takes longer time to stop or clot compared to normal people. Meanwhile, for blindness, so this is when that individual, they cannot distinguish shades of red and also green. They cannot distinguish what kind of color like normal people. And while these genetic diseases, they can affect both male and also female, but it is more common in males. Okay, meanwhile for female, it's much rarer. So here we have genetic diagrams that show how hemophilia can be inherited in human. So here we have two situations. Okay, the first one, we have father with hemophilia, okay, that married to a woman with a normal condition. Okay, she's not carrier and she doesn't have that disease. Second situation, we have normal father with a carrier mother. So carrier ni bahasa Melayu dia pembawakan. Dia tak ada penyakit tu, cuma dia ada satu kopi untuk recessive gene. Okay, so maksudnya nanti dia boleh turunkan, dia boleh inherit recessive gene tu kepada dia punya anak. So let's analyze this first situation here. Okay, father with hemophilia and a normal mother. So, sini sepatutnya the superscript is small h. Okay, so this father here, he has one copy of the recessive gene. Since since the Y chromosome doesn't have the gene, okay, so that's why the disease occur. Okay, this father have hemophilia, and then so that means for the gamete. So this genetic diagram dia tak ada letak gamete, so kita tambah lagi. So from the father, the X. So this gamete will receive the recessive gene. Gamete satu lagi dia receive Y chromosome. Okay, yang mother ni pula, since both copy are normal gene, okay, so this mother will produce only one type of gamete, which have the normal copy of the gene. Okay, so this first one here, okay, is when this gamete fuse with this gamete, so it will produce a carrier daughter. And then if the gamete that carries the Y chromosome fuse with this one, okay, they will have normal son, okay, because there's no recessive gene. So don't worry about this one. So this is just the same. It's just showing that okay, but normally we don't need to draw two gametes from this one because both of allele are same. Okay, but the thing is the ratio is still one carrier daughter, okay, to one normal son. Okay, so that is the ratio for this genetic diagram. Meanwhile, from this second genetic diagram, okay, so you have normal father with carrier mother. So the gamete, okay, here carry normal copy and Y, and here one carry normal gene and one carry recessive gene. Okay, so this one as usual, if this gamete fuse with this one, you will have normal daughter. Meanwhile, if this one fuse with this this gamete, okay, carry Y chromosome fuse with this one, you will have normal son. Okay, because on the X chromosome it carry the normal gene. Meanwhile, if this from this one actually, okay, so this gamete fuse with this one, okay, this will be carrier daughter, one copy, one normal and one recessive gene, okay, carrier. So the thing about carrier daughter, they will not have the genetic disease, which is hemophilia, but they can have mild symptom, okay, of the hemophilia. So for example, if they bleed, maybe it will take longer to stop. Kalau severe, okay, so this mean bleeding tu susah mau stop. Benda ni dia tiada penawar lah, tapi dia ada treatment, okay, treatment for hemophilic people untuk prevent excessive blood loss. Orang yang ada hemophilia ni actually kesian. So sebab kalau dia bleed, external bleeding, memang ketara lah, dia punya bleeding tu memang susah mau stop. Kalau kita yang normal ni, kalau kita guna tisu ke apa lap-lap, lepas tu naturally dia akan stop bleeding. Okay, ada nampak putih-putih tu, itu adalah platelet. So kalau orang yang hemophilia tu, badan dia tak boleh hasilkan ataupun tak boleh hasilkan banyak platelet tu, sebab tu bleeding tu susah mau stop. Okay, and then itu external. Kalau internal bleeding, contoh kepala dia terhantuk ke, kena pukul ataupun badan dia terlanggar bucu dinding ke apa, okay, so itu boleh jadi penyebab internal bleeding. So internal bleeding ni dia tak nampak, okay, and bila susah mau bleed, orang tu paling teruk dia boleh kena sawan ke. Kalau internal bleeding di dalam otak, itu yang boleh menyebabkan kematian lah paling teruk. Okay, tapi tak tahulah di Malaysia ke apa, tapi benda ni dia ada treatment lah untuk kurangkan effect of the hemophilia. Okay, tadi kita stop until carrier. Okay, sekarang kita mau tengok the last possible combination between this gamete and also this one. So, since Y chromosome doesn't carry any of that gene, cuma ada X je, and X pula receive recessive gene, so this will become the hemophiliac son. Okay, so anak lelaki ni dia akan ada hemophilia. So, as you can see, that is how hemophilia cause in this sex-linked gene inheritance. As you can see, normally it occurs or affect the male. Meanwhile, for the female, very rare. Female, mostly they are the carrier. Okay, they carry one copy of the recessive gene. Okay, if you're wondering kenapa tidak kita punya genetic diagram normal dengan hemophiliac mother. Okay, itu kita tak payah discuss lah sebab dia jarang-jarang. Okay, biasanya yang ni situation that can cause hemophilia in the F1 ataupun offspring. And here is example genetic diagram for color blindness in human. So similar with the hemophiliac earlier, okay, hemophilia earlier. So this one also depending on the situation. Okay, it can be from the mother or from the father. Okay, but for this diagram here, the example that it gives us that a colorblind mother, okay, and normal father. So as you can see, from the mother, okay, all gametes they have the recessive gene. And then from the father, okay, only one copy of the normal gene. So after fertilization, okay, the F1, the offspring here, first generation here, so you have female carrier, okay, all of the female will be carrier. Meanwhile, all the male are color blinded, okay, because they receive one copy, okay, which carry the recessive gene from the mother, and meanwhile on the Y chromosome, they don't have any of that gene. Okay, so the male in this family, they will have that disease. Meanwhile, for female, only carrier. So in this case, color blindness, kalau carrier biasanya dia normal lah, tak ada simptom apa-apa. Dia boleh nampak color normally. Okay. So ini situation yang pertama. So boleh jadi nanti in other situation, maybe bapa dia yang ada color blindness ataupun mak dia carrier. So kalau kamu berminat, bolehlah buat sendiri genetic diagram. Okay, tengok dia punya macam mana gamete dia terbentuk, how the allele separate in each gamete, and then the genotypic ataupun phenotypic ratio. Okay, tu boleh buat sendiri. Sini kita ada past year question. Okay, 14B ya, bukan A. A itu ni inheritance lain. Tapi kalau untuk sex linked gene 14B ni ya. So sambil tu kita tengok juga soalan ni. Okay, so information. So remember for chapter 4 mesti analyze dulu info yang soalan tu bagi. So hemophilia A is an inherited X-linked recessive disorder that prevents blood clotting. Okay, 6. Lepas tu dia suruh sini B1, define X-linked recessive inheritance. So yang ni ada dalam nota. Okay, so these are referring to the genes that are located on X ataupun sex chromosome. 2 markah. So ni baru 1. Okay, ini baru 1. So selain ni, so kamu juga boleh tulis. So ni pilihan jawapan yang kedua. Ni tak ada nota, so boleh salin. Recessive allele on X chromosome. So if you're wondering this disease, okay, they are due to mutation. Okay, so the gene, okay, is due to mutation. Okay, so ni antara ni ataupun ni. Okay, kita tulis ni pun 1 markah. So markah kedua terdapat nota, so salin sambung sini, that causes Okay, so hemizygous ni maksudnya because in male they only have ataupun receive one copy of X chromosome. So itu maksudnya hemizygous. So kalau dia receive satu copy X chromosome, so kalau dia receive gene yang recessive, okay, so that phenotype will be expressed. Walaupun cuma ada satu copy, sebab satu copy lagi Y chromosome yang tiada gene tu. Okay. Itu untuk male. Meanwhile, in female, it will only be expressed in homozygous condition. Okay, and in homozygous female. So maksudnya this female individual, she must receive one recessive gene from the father and one recessive gene from mother. So ada dua copy homozygous condition. Barulah female ni dia akan express the phenotype or have the disease. Okay, dua ni pula, okay, dia bagi situation. Mary, a hemophilia carrier. Okay, maksudnya kalau carrier, Mary punya genotype, okay, satu normal, satu lagi recessive. Okay, itu Mary punya. So, she marries John. So, ni punya, John punya genotype, who has a normal X chromosome. So, maksudnya John tu normal. Okay, sebab, ialah lelaki cuma ada satu kopi je. Okay, so dia normal. So using suitable symbol, so ini yang Sola mahu, draw a Punnett square to show the possible genotypes and phenotypes of the offspring, including the ratio of hemophiliac offspring. So maksudnya di sini dia mau ratio, phenotypic ratio. Okay, tapi dua-dua lah, genotype dengan phenotype. Okay, so kita guna page sebelah. Okay, so dia suruh guna Punnett square, tapi sebelum tu kita start macam biasa. So P parents, okay, parental genotype. So you have Mary who is carrier and John who is normal. So the gamete, okay, remember mesti letak arrow. Okay, this means the allele, okay, separate during meiosis. Okay, circle maksudnya dia gamete. Satu lagi gamete has the recessive allele. Ni pula, okay, dua jenis, one carry X chromosome, one with Y chromosome. So dia suruh guna Punnett square. So your F1, so lukis kamu punya Punnett square. Okay. So sini gamete. Mesti tulis lah gamete. Okay, ada dua jenis from each parent. So gini je. So sini first parent. Okay, dari sinilah. Sini from second parent. Dia tak kisah lah. Kalau mau ni di sini pun tak apa. Ikut kamu. Yang penting betul. Okay, so the first offspring that will be a female. Okay, this one will be normal. Okay, and here this one it will be a carrier. Daughter carrier. Here will be male, which is normal. And here will be the hemophiliac son. Okay, soalan mau phenotype dengan genotype kan of the offspring. So genotype sudah bagi. Okay, so this one that means you show the genotype of the offspring already. So untuk phenotype you have to write it down. Okay. So you have this one X hash normal. Okay, yang ni. So this is normal. Tulis macam ni ya. Lepas tu yang ni X hash. This is carrier. Okay, and di sini you have the silap pada tadi. Okay, so sini hemophiliac. Tu kasih punya spelling. Silap apa? Dia tiada A nya hemophilic. Lepas tu dia suruh tulis ratio for hemophilic, sorry, tulis sekejap, ratio for hemophilic offspring. Okay, so here you will have 3 normal including carrier. Sebab phenotype maksudnya bukan based on genotype but phenotype. So carrier ni dia akan normal lah because they might not have the symptom, okay, of hemophilia. So it will be 3 normal to 1 hemophilic offspring. Okay, and based on answer scheme, ada satu lagi cara. Okay, that is you write down carrier. So you have 2 normal, 1 carrier, 1 hemophilic. So dua-dua boleh diterima, either one lah. And the last type of inheritance that deviate from Mendelian is Polygenes. Poly means many, so many genes. So kenapa inheritance ni dia disobey Mendelian law? Okay, so sini dia punya definition ataupun dia punya description of this polygene. So polygenes here is referring to a characteristic, okay, satu karakteristik controlled by many gene. So kalau in Mendelian, satu karakteristik controlled by only one gene. Okay, so di sini pula polygenes, one characteristic controlled by many genes. Sebab tu dia deviate, okay, sebab kita ada different gene that control one characteristic. Okay, so for example, we have in human lah here. So height, our skin color, and also our eye color. So all of these, they are controlled by different genes. So that means many allele lah. Okay, many variation of allele. Remember, one gene, okay, kalau usually 2 or 3 allele. Especially for those that obey Mendel, satu gene cuma 2 allele. Tapi kalau dia deviate, okay, ataupun certain gene, they can have more than 2 alleles. So in this case, okay, different gene, that means you have more alleles. So kalau aku baca ni, okay, so this one here we use height as an example. So let's say for height, okay, is controlled by 3 genes here, A, B, C. Okay, so if dominant, you will have capital, and recessive one, you will have small letter A. So let's say here, so if that person, okay, for all genes, that person has to receive both dominant copy, okay, that means the person will be very tall. But if the person have all recessive copies for each gene, okay, so semua huruf kecil kan, so this individual would be very short. Tapi boleh jadi juga combination, okay, for each gene, heterozygous. So this person, they will have intermediate height. Okay, that's why this trait is varied. Okay, they have range. Sebab tu kita tak ada yang tinggi betul, tak ada yang pendek betul. Okay, we have a different variation of height. So this distribution of the height, okay, if you plot a graph, they will produce a curve that is bell shape. Okay, so this bell shape is also known as normal distribution. So for example here, so this is how a bell shaped curve looks like. Okay, so let's say you measure height of everyone, okay, in one area, and you plot a graph, you will find this kind of graph. Okay, and as you can see, there are variation in height. Tiada yang kita tak ada dua jenis rendah dengan yang tinggi, tapi kita ada varied. Okay, and here we have the intermediate one ataupun median height. So that is polygenes. So biasanya polygene ni jarang dia tanya dalam paper tu. Selalu sebelum ni yang saya perhatikan dia di paper 1 lah. So maybe in UPS maybe lah dia akan tanya, okay, regarding the definition ataupun example ataupun dia punya graph, okay, graph that it will produce. So that will be bell-shaped curve ataupun normal distribution.